All right, everybody, welcome. So I'm going to be rooting some Bois. This is a Osage orange, I believe, is the other name of this tree. I'll get back to you with a Latin name. Anyway, these are supposedly pretty difficult to take root, but it is the right time of year. It's spring. And so I also noticed that I have some lateral growth here. So I think that this, since it isn't woody yet, might have a really good shot at rooting. So I'm actually going to make a cut here as well. I have my rooting hormone here, got my scissors, my tools ready to go, and I've got the two little pots here. I'm going to grab one more while we work. There we go. There's my third. I think that'll probably be enough. I have some other smaller stemmed cuttings that are still pretty soft. So there's a good chance that they will be capable of getting some roots going too. I'm also going to prune some of the leaves off. So let's get started. Just put my rooting hormone, a little bit of it out here so I don't go back into my bottle. I think I've had this for years, so it might not be as effective as it once was, but it's served well, pretty good so far. Anyway, so again, if you remember, the point here was that I like to prune them at an angle. I think that helps, so there's a lot more contact area, but it might not. That's just one of those little things. So I'm going to be dipping. They just don't have a whole lot of leaf area on them right now, but let me fill this guy up. I've got some soil over here. And just in we go. I'm not going to worry too much. This is actually a really interesting tree. It was used by the Civilian Conservation Corps, I believe. It's also got its name from Bois from Bois d'Arc, the tree that indigenous North American folks used to make bows, also called ironwood, I believe. Anyway, again, this one you can see it's got couple years worth of, I believe it only grew this much first year, and then this is last year's growth probably. Anyway, I'll give all of this. I'm going to go ahead and notch this over here as well, just in case that helps. Notch through that cambium layer, and I do get some, if you can see that right there, I do get a little milk out of that. So I'm going to dip this guy as well, and then go all the way around and really lay that root hormone on. Like I said, I've never done this particular tree before, but there's one behind my house right now that's looking a little worse for wear, and I think that they represent a lot of really cool history, so I'm going to try to propagate this tree. They also make, they call those very large, big green apples, crab apples, but not just normal crab apples. They're very large, and I think those are kind of fun to have around too, even though people don't eat them. Animals definitely do. So here's one more, just on the off chance. And then I am going to maybe come back and prune some of these leaves off. But, ooh, is he upside down or right side up? Uh-oh, hang on. No, I think we're still good. Okay. They also have thorns, which is funny, because it's one of the reasons they were used as a species to stop erosion, is because they were so rugged. They don't actually grow native, or they're not naturalized to my location, but they definitely can survive once established. So I'm going to make a cut here and then one more here and try to see if I can get these two green first year branches to go ahead and root as well. Okay. So this guy's going to go in and this guy's going to go in. I'm probably just going to go ahead and take that off as well. Okay, so everyone's kind of going like this. I get them dipped in my water here, dipped in my rooting hormone, kind of getting a mess. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and prune off these leaves. As I explained in my other video about this, the first race that you have to win is you have to keep enough moisture in this tissue for the plant to start growing roots before it starves. So leaves, although they are great for feeding the plant long term, don't do a very good job of keeping moisture in unless it's cactus or something. And so to prevent that moisture loss, yeah, same goes for this guy. These are going to get snipped off. With respect to things I'm doing wrong, This plant is adapted to pretty dry places as well, so there's a good chance it's not super fungus resistant. So I probably should be sterilizing my scissors if I really, really wanted to make sure nothing else came in and all the chips were down, I guess. But we're just going to give it a shot with what I've got on hand. Okay, so here are 3 guys. We'll go ahead and give this one a shot too. You never can tell. But I'll come back and do the same. It's interesting. I also hear a lot about people talking about different like alternative methods and alternative things to rooting hormone. I've heard like willow bark. I've heard urine, among others. And I think on the internet is fascinated with aloe. I don't know if those are true or not. I've never tried to root anything with aloe, but it definitely is good at sealing up tissues. So I think that might be part of it. That it helps people or helps plants as well as it does people keep moisture on the inside of their tissues instead of letting it run out. I'm only going to leave 2 there. Same here. 2 there. And 1 there. No, he gets to go too. No, he gets to go. Okay. Sorry, guys. We'll see what you got. Dab that on again. And we'll just find out. Like I've said in other videos, the really point here is that just keep in mind that a time of year matters quite a bit with respect to this stuff too. So your success rate goes up the closer to spring, and also with woody plants, the more your plant is. We'll see how this guy does. I'm not going to cross my fingers, but you know what? Stranger things have happened. So 1 more here. Let's grab another pot or 2. Yeah, springtime's the time to do this. So if you've got things that are starting to run or shoot, vines that you want to propagate like this, most woody or herbaceous vines are fantastic for stuff like this. So that's really the, if you want to go ahead and propagate. And remember, I'm keeping the right direction up. So I'm actually just going to tuck this whole thing in and we'll just see how this goes. I'm going to prune that 1 more leaf off just because I think I'm really hopeful on this one because I've got that green tissue in there. It's spring. It's really going. Yeah, like I said, these 2 are picked for a reason. These last 2 that I'm doing. So we'll see that if I can make this happen with them. But the more chance I can give them, the better. So, all right. And then the only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to water this in. So, and remember, this first time, I guess I could really water them with just a spray bottle. My soil's already pretty moist, so that's fine. But I'm also going to soak them just to make sure the soil's good. And then the real deal breaker for a lot of these is the conditions I keep them in the meantime. I'll revisit what I keep some of these in, but something like this, for example, just a plastic water bottle that's big enough to put over the top of something like this. Notice it's not completely sealed. I don't want to do that, but it also diminishes some of the sunlight that comes in too. So just something else to keep in mind. Like any way you can limit the airflow, and then don't put this outside in the direct sun, but a window is usually fine because if it goes outside, you'll get too much sun and you'll just bake it and kill it for a different reason. So something like this works very well. I've used Tupperware that's not completely sealed as well. So that's another thing you can keep in mind. All right, I'm going to give these a little bit of water. And not so much that I'm going to flood everything, but just enough to make sure that the soil is really damp. It's fine if I get the foliage wet at this stage, but I don't want it to stay that way necessarily. Again, like I said, it's because this tree doesn't particularly, oh man, I don't know about that guy. We'll see if he turns around. But this tree doesn't particularly give me hope that it's very resistant to mildew and mold, etc. So we'll just have to see what happens. But anyway, I'll keep you updated. Here's some more trees that might be our best friends in the future. Take it easy.